Well, good evening. Actually, I have no idea what time it is right now, but this is Elise, and you know what? Just thinking about some of the people that have been in my life or crossed paths with me, you know, in my 63 years, and just questioning existence. Like, what was the purpose for them being in my life, and how did it play out? And was there a good result? Was there no result? Did it cause me pain? Did it cause me anger? Did it cause me to look at things differently? Did it cause me to think about God in another way? Well, all of the above. And just looking at people in general and what it is that they think is most important to them, and what it is that is not important at all when it comes to their connection with other people. So this brings me to Judith. Yeah, Judith. Minister, Pastor Judith. I went through some traumatic experiences and had a breakdown at some point. And I actually wrote my testimonial and I shared it with my bishop. And he said to me, you know what? You ought to publish this. You just ought to publish this. And the crazy thing about it is that when I went through, I wasn't able to write. I wasn't able to pray. I couldn't sing. I couldn't do anything. It was just weird. I mean, well, I can't say I couldn't do anything. I did do some things, but just trying to gather myself, where like part of my mind was kind of on point, and then the other part of my mind was kind of just scattered. I couldn't get it together. And one of the first persons that I called was the bishop. And he said to me, remember, it's not real. Everything that you're experiencing is not real. That was what he said. But then enter Judith. This is after, coming out of the hospital and, writing the testimony and sharing it with the bishop and him telling me, you ought to publish this. I actually was led to give the testimony to Judith. And I didn't hear from her for a good while. And then I said to her, I said, well, the testimony, where is it? Could I have it back? I mean, she's like, oh, well, I don't have access to it. So I said, what? Well, I don't have access to it. Well, does that mean you can't find it? Does it mean you gave it to somebody? Does that mean that you are moving full speed ahead, as a master's candidate, for your thesis, or a doctoral candidate using information? Or what does it mean? What did it mean? Well, to date, I have not gotten an answer. And literally, it didn't mean anything to her. But I never told her to keep it. I just wanted her to review it. And she is, quote unquote, an educator. But why is it that her attitude had to be so just insensitive and nonchalant? And even until this day, not even a word. Not even a, well, you know what? Maybe we can make up in some kind of way. But then think about it. How would she make up? Well, she doesn't have access to it. First of all, it's not her work. It's a work that belongs to me, that came straight up out of my heart. So how is it that someone can just lay hands or lay hold to something that belonged to someone else? She didn't even volunteer to say, oh my God, you know what? I have an issue. I don't know what I did with it. No, she waited until I came to her, which was straight up nasty. Moving right along to the next person. We talk about now Marlene, Minister Marlene. And the thing about it is that, we all have our friends and families and relatives and people that we call dear to our heart. But in this life, as you live, you begin to realize that your importance to them is held greater than their importance to you. Now, let me qualify that. So, to Marlene, that was really important. Get ready for this one. Important in the sense that if I call her, she'll come. If I ask her, she'll do it. If I tell her, she will. Let me give her a card and tell her what a beautiful friend she is. But to say that there was reciprocal behavior, not ever. Not even a phone call to say hello. And what did I do with the card? I kept it for a long time. And for a long time, I basked and I was like, oh, this is so sweet. But I'm learning more and more that, the measure of a friendship, or the depth, the height, and the width of a friendship can be not well expressed in a card. Did you hear what I said? Can be not well expressed in a card. But even the words of a card make it, or may make it seem like, wow, this is beautiful. How long do the words last? When you look at reciprocal behavior, or when you look at the fact that there is no reciprocal. And then when you think about just the simple things like, she said God told her to move. And I had this machine, because I've always been an entrepreneur, making baskets and doing all kind of things. And she left my sealer under her bed. I had took it there, and I didn't know she was going to move, but she said God told her to move. Well, here's the thing. I wasn't even given the opportunity to come and get it. And then the other thing is, what if I couldn't come and get it? So you just thought, or she just thought, well, I'm just going to leave it and walk away. It was $600. But she never thought it wrong, or she never thought it a problem to call me to bring her daughter out of an abusive situation. Some 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, picking her up from her residence, driving her all the way to Queens, picking up her daughter and the kids, and coming back into the city. And I also had an interview with the post office the very same day, and was 5 minutes late and lost my job. So I lost my job, never got my sealer back. Never even once did she say, well, let me give Lisa $100, or let me give Lisa something towards her sealer. Perhaps it was just, well, she left it. But where was the sensitivity? Where was the reciprocal? But I was worth a card. And for a while, I was like, okay. But then in thinking about it now, I'm like, and then you want to come and prophesy to me what God is going to do? And you know what? I received that. We have to look at some things in a number of ways. How many calls have I gotten to say, hey, how are you doing? Not many. And even if there have been some things in her life that have happened, have I ever called? Have I ever reached out? But then it came a time when I stopped. I stopped. And I'm not trying to make this a blown out message of any sort. I mean, I have a number of examples and testimonies about stuff. And I told God today, I said, God, I don't think that I could ever give like I've ever given before in my life. I just can't do it. I can't put my time in. I can't put my money in. I can't put my gifts and my talents in, even into the church and to other people. I'm being real. Because the reciprocal It just doesn't happen. And it's not so much that you look for it to happen. It's just, like, dang, really? You see, I'm the kind of person, and maybe many of you are too. Just call and see how you doing. How is everything, That would suffice. But you know what? Out of sight, out of mind. But as long as you on the radar in the church and everything is being sucked dry out of you, and not only that, everything that you have, not just those things that I mentioned, but also the tangible things that, well, the church needs something. You give them all your file cabinets, your microphone, your stand. You sell your keyboard and your drum machine. You put the money in the church. You give them tile. You give them a gazebo. Anything for the business. You out here busting your butt trying to make it happen. But the smallest little thing, smallest little concern, let me just say hello. It floats right over the heads of the people. So when we talk about the last word, or the 7 last words, it is finished. I told God, I said, it's finished. I can't. And I know this is on a personal tip. And I know that there are lots of people that probably feel the same way. And in my heart of hearts, I would never, ever believe that I would feel this way. I would never even believe that I would like, God, you know what? I hate them. I so hate them. Jesus, I hate them. And then I get up the next day and I'm like, you know what, God? I really don't have hate, but I can't. I can't. And then you have a faction out there trying to make it like you are the opposite to what you've been for a lifetime. And then you have people out there that are like, well, if she would have just approached me this way, how many times do you have to approach? When you've given, you've been in service. And it's always been excellence, with excellence. But they can't say the same when it comes to the reciprocal, because it's not been a reciprocal. So you mean to tell me that you don't want to pay me? Even by a kind word? Oh, wait, we got a card. You don't want to pay me? Oh, wait, without even saying, oh, wait a minute. Oh, sorry, I did get your invoice, but I wasn't able to pay you. Oh, you mean you can't? Well, if not this week, well, maybe next month. You mean to tell me you can't do the little reciprocal things? And now here we are all these years later, and you feel justified. And every single day for all those years, I keep it moving the best that I can. But you jump on the bandwagon, easily forgetting about what was then. Whether or not anybody felt any pain or any sorrow, or any hurt, or did you say, "Ooh, Lisa will do it. Ooh, Lisa did it." Or how is she? Those things never mattered. They only mattered when it meant doing for you. I'm so glad that I have a God that loves me. And it's painful sometimes to look at friends and people that you would be around for a lifetime. Oh my God. And know that they would never, ever treat you like what you gave out to them. Rain, shine, sleet, snow. You got all your family and you on the go. It's just me and mine and my 1, 2, 3. And then there's others too that these family members lie about, hide, and tell stories of just because they got to meet an agenda. Because they want other people to think and see that we're not what God made us to be. But at any rate, it's okay. Somebody said, you wearing this on your shoulders. No, it was wearing on my heart for a long time. Because I just couldn't believe that these are the same people that say they believe like I do, or maybe they believe greater. Some of them are, many of them with titles and collars and potentate and this and that and the whole nine, and in the club, come on, Brownie, and all of that. but still would not make good on the very simple things that meant something to me. But you were serviced. And God sees the service. And God has given me a crown right here on earth. And He's got another one for me in eternity. It's just sad that I would have to wait until then for you to open your eyes and see. It's Sillies signing out.